is Gavin Arnold, and today I'll be presenting on my group's analysis of Ford Motor Company's marketing strategy. Today I'll be presenting on the first part of that strategy. The objectives of our analysis were to identify the major marketing strategy elements of Ford Motor Company, to analyze them, and provide recommendations based on our findings. The first analysis that we completed was that of a SWOT analysis. This identifies Ford's current market situation by identifying the strengths and weaknesses of Ford Motor Company, as well as the opportunities and threats within the auto industry itself. The major strength we found for Ford Motor Company was that of its F-Series model. This is the most successful automobile model in the world and presents a major strength for Ford Motor Company. Another strength we found was that of Ford's new model developments. Ford has been getting plenty of media attention with the recent release of its Ford Ranger, as well as the highly anticipated return of its Ford Bronco. Weaknesses for Ford Motor Company include the high upfront costs associated with these new vehicles. Currently, Ford is ahead of its longtime domestic rival, General Motors, and this is due in part to its F-Series lineup. But by the end of the year, because of these upfront costs, Ford Motor Company's valuation will be below that of General Motors. Another weakness for Ford is its unprofitable global divisions, including that of its European division, where it has had to close many factories. Opportunities within the auto industry itself include the green trend. Automakers are latching onto this trend by providing new hybrid and electric models to help satisfy the environmentally conscious. Another opportunity for automakers is that of the application of artificial intelligence within automobile models. Artificial intelligence, or AI, provides a way to provide better driver assist packages as well as autonomous driving capability. Threats for the automobile industry include consumers' ever-changing preferences. Currently, a major trend with automakers is the discontinuation of sedan models. Automakers are replacing these sedan models with new crossover and SUV models that are more popular. This could become a threat to automakers if sedan demand were to stop decreasing and even increase, as they would be missing out on sales. Another threat to automakers is the increase in ride-hailing services, such as Uber and Lyft. In congested cities, consumers prefer these because of their efficiency as well as cheapness compared to that of purchasing an automobile. Ford's growth strategies will be analyzed next. The first growth strategy is that of marketing penetration. Ford is trying to increase the sales of its current product lineup with its current consumer base by introducing new packages each year. Ford also is trying to increase sales frequency by promoting online purchasing of its vehicles. This attracts new customers who would otherwise be intimidated by the current dealership setup. Another growth strategy being used by Ford Motor Company is that of market development. Ford is trying to develop its global divisions, which are currently unprofitable or have very little profit. For instance, Ford is pouring lots of money into its Chinese division, where it has created an entire line of dealerships that are part of a single distribution model. Instead of contracting with Chinese dealerships, they are opening their own, which will allow them to better promote and market the brand within China. Ford is also releasing Chinese-specific Ford Everest models as well as the Ford EcoSport. Ford is also using a product development strategy by partnering with Israeli tech firms to develop Auto 2.0, which will provide better safety features as well as other driver-oriented tools to models in Israel. Another product that Ford is developing is that of its AI applications within its vehicles, including that with its media-based sync. Finally, Ford is using the growth strategy of diversification to help turn around the threat of ride-hailing services on the auto industry. It has purchased the electric scooter rental service of Spin, which has a presence across the United States, including right here in Missouri. Now we will move on to Ford's methods of segmentation. Ford's established strategy and objectives. Ford is trying to expand sales within its four-wheel drive segment by adapting the successful attributes of its F-Series lineup into new models, including that of its Ranger and highly anticipated Bronco model. Ford is also trying to provide more eco-friendly options by increasing the availability of EcoBoost models, hybrids, and all-electric vehicles. Ford is also using innovative technologies such as driver assist and AI in order to provide more options to those who value technology in their vehicles. Ford uses a variety of methods to segment its market. Ford segments its market by basing it on their consumers' views on society and the lifestyle they live, as well as the benefits that they most desire. Psychographic segmentation is based on how the customer spends their time and money, as well as their lifestyle and their opinions about different social aspects in the world. Ford, for instance, uses the lifestyle attribute to target its consumer base for the F-Series lineup with those who are busy and highly motivated and wish to do more with their vehicles than just a daily commute. They also use the opinions about the world element of psychographic segmentation to market to those who are environmentally conscious. Ford also uses the benefit segmentation method to group consumers based on those who value versatility as well as those who value technology. The next strategy that we will analyze is that of its targeting strategy. Ford evaluates its segmentation methods based on how identifiable they are. For instance, they want to be able to market to those who value the ruggedness as well as the versatility of their vehicle. And these are a very identifiable group, and they use this segment to market their F-Series lineup to. They also want a substantial segments where they can sell many vehicles and increase their profits. For instance, with the introduction of their new Bronco model, there are many enthusiasts who have been waiting for decades to be able to purchase this vehicle. This is a substantial segment and explains why Ford has spent so much time and money in developing this model. They also want to have a reachable audience and segment and a responsive one. For instance, with the Bronco group, in order to get a good response with sales from this group, they need to be able to analyze what those drivers are wanting from their vehicle. Finally, Ford evaluates these segments based on their profitability. The success of past and current products provides a base for them to be able to analyze whether or not these ideas will be successful. For instance, the success of their F-Series based on its versatility and ruggedness provides a good forecast for the success of its smaller pickup, the Ranger, as well as the success of its hybrids, which allows it to predict the success of future hybrids. The selection of target markets are based on the competency of Ford Motor Company in delivering those products. Ford has experience, for instance, with the Ford Ranger as well as the Ford Bronco, which were around for many decades. So Ford should be competent enough to be able to release these vehicles and make sure they are successful. Ford uses a differentiated targeting strategy when targeting its market by having several different options to market to different customers. The strengths and weaknesses of segmentation and Ford's targeting strategies. The strengths of Ford's targeting strategy include how well the strategy aligns with consumer desires. Consumers that have been waiting for the Bronco desire that vehicle very much. And so their strategy of providing them with that vehicle, with the versatility that it is known for, works out very well. And speaking of the Bronco, the experience that Ford has with the production of the Ranger and the Bronco will allow it to better target those vehicles to their customer base. Their targeting strategy also covers many market segments, which allows it to increase its sales on a broader base. Also, the three different segments that we identified so far in the presentation can all be integrated together. For instance, Ford has announced that there will be a Bronco, which will be a hybrid version and will have the latest technological features, including driver assist, integrated with it. With this integration and many market segments, there is lower risk for Ford in developing these models. The weaknesses of Ford's targeting strategy include that it is broad. While this has many strengths to it, it also means that there is going to have to be more marketing, promotion, and capital, as well as time spent on developing these models. The broadness of this target market also requires many marketing messages to be distributed across many different platforms, as the consumers within each segment have very different interests and use different media platforms. Ford is also going to have to, within each segment, be able to market the vehicle to different media bases. For instance, with young people, social media will be prevalent, whereas with older people, print media as well as television advertisements will be more appropriate. Recommendations that we have for Ford's targeting strategy include focusing promotion on the core aspects of the segment. This will help to make a concise message to communicate to consumers and to better market those new products. We also recommend that Ford targets their segments through appropriate platforms. As we mentioned earlier, identifying which age groups as well as which groups that are interested in, per se, ruggedness or versatility of vehicles are targeted through the media that they use most. And also, finally, we recommend to Ford that they continuously poll their consumers in order to be able to keep up with their desires and what they wish to get from the automaker. This has been the first part of our analysis. Here are my sources. Thank you.